Travel Around Kazakhstan is an educational program on domestic tourism produced within the framework of Ruhani Jangiru project. Every episode, our camera crew travels along popular routes marked on a touristification map of the Republic. The resting place of the ancient nomads of Almaty, Fort Verny, Soviet Alma-Ata, and finally, the southern capital of Kazakhstan, Almaty. The city changed several times, not only the name, but also the status. And in each historical scenario, its special role, the inter-regional transit bridge, was constantly emphasized. Today, it connects the air, rail, and road routes that lead from China to Europe. Hello, my name is Aynash Sagandikova, and this is the program Travel Around Kazakhstan. Historical scenario emphasized the special role of the city as an inter-regional transit bridge. But under the new circumstances, it has become more multi-vector. Today, air, railway, and automobile roads pass through Almaty, not only to Russia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, China, but also to other countries of the world. The developed transport and logistics infrastructure of the city creates an additional incentive for the development of the so-called shopping tourism. Hub. Today, this word is often used when it comes to large airport hubs, sea and dry ports, transport and logistics complexes that provide the circulation of goods through multimodal transport. They are united by such concepts as center and core. So, the status of Almaty claims today is the hub city of the southern macro region. Status implies that a center of industrial, infrastructural, and tourist activity will be formed on the scale of a specific macro region. Its territory is a large economic zone, and in this context, it is designated as Almaty agglomeration. As part of this process, the southern capital becomes the center of gravity of small cities and small settlements, which by Kazakh standards are located quite close to it. The largest of them are Talgar, Issyk, Kaskelian, Kapshagay. Today, there are about 3 million people on the territory of Almaty agglomeration, which, in addition to the southern capital, includes suburban settlements and small towns. This factor serves as an incentive to unlock the full potential of the capital. According to McKinsey, 600 of the largest cities in the world generate about 60% of gross world product. And in 2025, their total GDP will reach $64 trillion. Almaty is among these 600 megacities. Its high economic rating says a lot about the business activity of the city. According to analysts of the reputable American business publication Financial Post, in 2015, Almaty in the list of 10 cities in the world with the fastest growing economies. The southern metropolis of Kazakhstan occupies the 10th place, which is ahead of Moscow and Warsaw. Across the Republic, Almaty accounts for half of the wholesale and about a quarter of all retail operations. Here, 80% of Kazakhstan banks and 60% of their financial portfolios are concentrated. In addition, branches of major international financial institutions are located in the southern metropolis. This is the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development and the Asian Development Bank. And here in Almaty, the regional offices of the World Bank and the Islamic Development Bank are located. By the way, the Islamic Development Bank opened its first Central Asian office in Almaty, and thus paved the way for Islamic finance throughout the region. The geography of countries willing to invest in the city's economy is expanding every year for the metropolis, which is developing not at the expense of raw materials, but through the production of finished products and the provision of services. This is a positive trend. In general, the volume of direct investments in Kazakhstan from 2005 to 2017 is $254 billion. Of these, 12% or $20.6 billion falls on the Swiss Confederation, which allows keeping its status as the third largest investor in the Kazakh economy. Traditionally, the first two positions are occupied by the Netherlands and the United States, which collectively invested $105 billion in Kazakhstan over the same period. There are at least 6 factors that create the prerequisites for Almaty to compete with international hubs for shopping tours: an adventurous geographical position, a great potential of the transport and logistics infrastructure, and good business activity. And finally, a touristic resource that is waiting for its finest hour due to remarkable beauty of nature. The 21st century is a century of global transformations that will occur due to the implementation of the projects of the economic belt of the Silk Road. Without exaggeration, this is the golden time for the development of cities along this route. According to experts, one should never stop at what has been achieved and form motivation, and also look for new sources for investment inspiration. The new plans of Almaty are primarily related to the development of the transport and logistics infrastructure of the city and the increase in commodity flows. These two perspectives emerge as part of the revival of the Great Silk Road. We are talking about the project One Belt, One Road. This is a global economic concept which in 2013 was presented by the leader of China, Xi Jinping. As part of this initiative, the Celestial Empire plans to implement 2 transcontinental projects, the Silk Road Economic Belt and the 21st Century Sea Silk Road. 63% of the world's population live on the territory of countries that, one way or another, are involved in the global project One Belt, One Road. The estimated economic effect of its implementation is $21 trillion. This figure is 2.5 times more than the total annual GDP of China. Almaty is the largest city within the Kazakhstan route of the new Silk Road. 1,716,000 people live here. Of these, 190,000 are foreigners who are engaged in business in the city. In addition, the number of potential investors who are considering Almaty as a place where they can effectively invest their money is growing every year. The Special Economic Zone Cargos, Eastern Gate, The most promising point of the new Silk Road in Central Asia is located 300 kilometers away from Almaty. It serves as an entrance gate for the flow of goods coming from China. The area of the Special Economic Zone Cargo's Eastern Gate is more than 4,500 hectares. This vast territory is divided into 3 parts: the industrial zone, the logistics complex, and the dry port. The dry port, from which the implementation of this project began, today is a key element of the SEZ. It is a point of receiving, shipping containers, sorting and storage of goods. When warehousing is necessary, cargoes go through the processes of scanning, weighing, packing, and insurance. And finally, one of the most important functions of a dry port is the transshipment of containers from Chinese mobile components to Kazakh ones. Some of these products will go to Almaty logistics centers. According to experts' expectations, by 2019, 200,000 containers will be sent from the Lianyungana Chinese railway station to the Kazakhstan railway station Altin-Kol via the Cargo's Eastern Gate, SEZ. By 2020, the volume of transshipment of containers between the 2 main transnational logistics points will reach 500,000 containers. A fairly extensive network of logistics centers has already been established on the territory of Almaty. Today, there are about 40 of them. Most of these centers appeared relatively recently. Almaty Contract Logistics, one of the largest logistics centers in the southern metropolis. Its total area is 35 hectares. The storage area is 45,000 square meters. In addition to the highway, 2 railway lines lead to the terminals of the center. Conventionally, the logistics complex can be divided into 2 parts. Container zone, its area 4,500 square meters. 2 railway lines lead to this zone. The terminal has 2 cranes. One is designed to handle oversized cargo. The other is a spreader gantry crane for working with containers. The capacity of this crane is 50 tons, and it can handle up to 25,000 containers per day. According to experts, in the near future, about 70 international hubs will be created in the largest transport hubs of the world. They will be interconnected by multimodal transport corridors. Such a scheme for organizing the delivery of goods will increase the efficiency of the transport and distribution process up to 40%. 16 years have passed since the approval of the General Plan of Almaty, but this does not mean that it has not been updated since. Changes are made to this plan every 5 years. The last adjustment for the development of the city was made in the fall of 2015. In the framework of the new version, the city will develop on the system of 4 fingers, that is, in 4 directions, in the western, northwestern, northern, and eastern directions. Almaty Belt Highway, the name of the project is pretty casual. However, its implementation goes beyond the ordinary road project. Since Big Almaty Belt Highway will allow to increase the potential of the International Auto Corridor, Western Europe, Western China. The Big Almaty Belt Highway is not structurally included in the project Western Europe, Western China. But, nevertheless, it is an important link. After completion of construction, this bypass road will be connected to the transit corridor, and at the same time, its opening will have an impact on the development of the transportation infrastructure of Almaty. Thanks to this project, transit flows will go around the city, and as a result, traffic within the metropolis will be optimized, and the load on the environment will decrease. In 2012, Almaty subway in the ranking of the internet publication The Coolest entered the top 10 of the most beautiful undergrounds of the world. For the city, which opened its metro doors just a year earlier for the first time, this was an unexpected recognition. The first 7 stations of the Almaty Metro were commissioned in 2011. 5 years later, 2 more new ones were added to the first line, Sairon and Moscow. As a result, now there are 9 stations. The expansion of the underground transport system will occur in the western and northern directions. By 2020, the Almaty Metro will be replenished with 4 more stations. And by this point, according to experts, the city will be able to fully assess its effectiveness. Almaty is one of the most friendly cities in the Republic. It has 17 sister cities, which are located in various parts of the world. We are welcomed in Egypt, in the city of Alexandria. People always waiting for us in the open spaces of the ancient South Korean city of Daegu. We have a warm welcome in Jeddah, the economic capital of Saudi Arabia. Tucson was the first city which opened the first page in collaboration with Almaty. This American city is located in Arizona, 11,500 kilometers away from Almaty. Can you imagine how far this is? Who has many friends, he is free, as in the steppe. Who do not have them are cramped, as if between palms. This ancient Chinese wisdom conveys very accurately the context of the present life. In order to expand the space of tourist and business ties, one must look for allies and partners. And it is much easier to do this today, when more and more points of contact of mutual interest are established and new traffic arteries are laid. According to experts from the authoritative publication The Economist, by 2025, Almaty has every chance to enter the top 100 of the most competitive world cities in terms of attracting capital, technology, and qualified personnel. It is expected that by this time, the volume of Almaty's regional gross product per capita will double. It is expected that by this time, thanks to the logistic and tourism potential, the volume of Almaty's regional gross product per capita will double. For comparison, today this figure is $29,000 US. This is $1,000 more than in Malaysian Kuala Lumpur. Modern realities of geoeconomics, Almaty is the largest city in the Kazakhstan segment of the Silk Road economic belt. Therefore, the geography of the Kazakhstan megapolis, the prospects for its infrastructural development serve as motivating factors for the successful implementation of projects within the framework of the program Map of Touristification of the Republic. The apple as a symbol of the city of Almaty was not chosen by chance. First of all, the Almaty region is considered the progenitor of all cultivated apples of the world. Second of all, this city is a source of economic inspiration for other regions across Kazakhstan. I don't know about you, but I was very inspired to have a shopping tour in the markets of this city more often. I am Aynar Sagandikova, and this was the program Travel Around Kazakhstan.